Welcome to Cult Fiction. This is the long-awaited. We've taken a break for like 2 weeks, if you hadn't noticed. This is our long-awaited reveal or review of Daredevil season two, Daredevil Born Again season two, and the Punisher Last Kill one shot that was on Disney Plus. We're going to be talking about both of those today. Also, we were just talking about a show that Alex and I have been watching. If you haven't seen it yet, Widow's Bay. Totally fun show if you haven't seen that. And Joe finally just got to watch, what was it?
Ted Lasso and Wolves.
Ted Lasso. That was it. Ted
Oh
Lasso.
yeah, I mean I finished it up a while ago, but yeah, I'm way behind the curve on that. So
Yeah,
even
well,
finishing
he
it up
just
a while
got
ago.
just got Apple TV, so you were able to watch that stuff.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
good.
we
That's good.
binged it. We binged it. We definitely enjoyed it.
I liked
Without
Wolves
question.
too.
I like
Eric and
Wolves
I,
too.
yeah, Eric and I both talked about Wolves and how they need to have a sequel to that movie that starts exactly where this one ends.
Oh, I wouldn't have a problem with that at all.
Right?
It
Like
shows
in
how they
exact
get out of that situation and then go after
exactly.
the people that set them up.
Exactly. That would be so rad.
But it's got to be quick because they're getting up there.
I
Right.
know.
Yeah,
Right.
Seriously.
yeah.
Yeah,
For me,
they
Ted Lasso, and I wasn't sure. I wasn't sure who felt this way. So I look it up, just because I was curious, and it's divided. There's a lot of people who, like me, enjoyed it, but also were like, but I don't understand like what happened during
well,
these
yeah.
seasons. Like I don't know what the
It's
goal
like
or
any
the
other
point.
sitcom. It's a
Yeah,
show
I don't
about
know.
nothing,
I don't know
you know?
what needed to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean that's
It was
exactly it.
just
Like
it
nothing
was
happened.
just
Like there was
just
nothing.
followed a
There
team
was
for 2 years.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
yeah, and that was and they ended up in the exact same spot that they started in. They got relegated and then they moved back up. So
Right. Right.
cool. All right, good deal. Good job. We started at ground zero and we ended up at zero, and we had a positive reinforcement the whole way. I love that. Yeah, but I just I,
So
I
Yeah,
didn't
I
I
get
don't understand.
I
I
was
don't
gonna
understand.
ask
Like I don't understand what you were waiting for out of
it's
that.
it's a sitcom. I was gonna ask you
Yeah.
guys if you've heard anything about Welcome to Wrexham.
Oh yeah, dude. Oh yeah.
Heard
I
about
watched
it,
I
but I
watched
haven't
I
watched
watched
any
like
of
two
it.
seasons of that.
Is it good?
I would say it's really enjoyable. And like it's kind of the idea of Ted Lasso. Like they buy a team and this team gets relegated, but it's like it's real life. I don't know how much of it is
Right.
staged and not, but it's
Right.
supposed to
Right.
be real life. And so they buy a team, they get relegated, and then they battle really hard, and then all of a sudden they get to go to the next level, and everybody's
Mm.
really excited. Um, and I think that's where maybe because I saw Welcome to Wrexham and then I watched Ted Lasso, and yeah, it's really feel good, and I really enjoyed the performances of everybody. And like I'm not trying to shit on it at all. I just was like, are we going to become superstars? Because maybe that's me. I'm spoiled. I'm spoiled with this because we have these hero stories where it's like,
Right.
oh, we're going to
Right.
build up from nothing and become
Right.
the fucking greatest soccer team that Liverpool's ever seen in the entire eternity of soccer. But it was like, no, we brought in Ted Lasso and we were here, and then we went down to here, and then we went back up to here, and everyone's happy that we're exactly where we started at, but we had positive reinforcement the whole time. So that's where I'm like, okay, cool.
I don't know. I like Ted Lasso. I thought it
Yeah.
was fun.
I mean, that is a big deal. Getting relegated down and then
Right.
getting back up is a
Finding your
very
way
big
back
deal.
up. Yeah. I think it's because, it was about the
I
character
mean, Wrexham,
development and
if
all
I'm
that
not
kind of
mistaken,
stuff.
because Wrexham is like a real team.
Mm.
Yeah, it
And
is.
so Wrexham is like they're they were like a rung below where the Ted Lasso team was when they got relegated. They were
Mm.
like a rung below that. And now they're to a point where, from what I understand, they're getting close to maybe even making it to the Premier League, which is
Premier
like
League, yeah.
the top, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like yeah, getting relegated and then getting out of that and getting back to where you are is
It's a fight.
that is a big deal,
It's a
actually.
fight. Yeah. I don't know. I thought it was interesting.
Soccer's weird, dude. Like we just don't understand soccer, I think.
And
Like
that's
overall and like
fair.
how their
Yeah,
tier system and all
yeah.
that kind of stuff. Because it's like, the Arizona Cardinals, they're terrible team. They're not going to be playing college football teams next year. or like Canadian football teams. Like, you know what I'm saying? They don't get like,
Right.
oh,
Yeah,
you were
and
terrible. Now you have to play in the Canadian Football League,
they
and the
brought that
Canadian
up in Ted
Football
Lasso
League
too.
champions get to play, in the NFL for a year, or
Yeah, they
whatever.
brought that up in Ted Lasso. Like, so your American football teams, if you guys just suck, you just keep doing what you do, and it's like,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
Basically,
they
yeah.
do.
Look at the
So,
Raiders
I get that. I get that.
all right. Well,
or the Jets. Or
let's get rocking on on what we're actually supposed to be talking about. Apparently, I'm on trivia duty tonight.
Okay.
So that was my understanding. So here's your first clue. Go ahead and whatever you want. You can text me or you can DM me on Discord. It doesn't matter with your guesses. First clue. 2:14 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time, August 29th, 1997.
It was a clear white night, clear dark moon. Warren G was on the streets trying to consume.
Uh,
Can you say that again?
yes, 2:14 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time, August 29th, 1997. um, that's clue number one. So
Got it.
we feel free to send a guess whenever. Let me know if you're texting me or DMing me. So
I'm texting you.
So let's talk about let's start with season 2 of Born Again, which I'll just go first. I enjoyed it. I liked it. I thought there were some problems with it. I'll be straight up, but I still really enjoyed the performances of everybody involved. I thought that the big thing for me is the whole story with, by the way, spoilers if you haven't seen it yet, you
You
should
should watch
definitely.
it and
Yeah.
stop watching this.
I didn't care about the story with BB, right? The journalist or whatever, and the big dude that was working for Kingpin. Like, I just felt like that was a nothing story. Like, there was no gravity to what happened with
Fluff.
them. It was fluff. Yeah, it was just like unnecessary time spent. I don't know why we had to spend so much time on that. I felt like there was no payoff for that. If there had been something where he had been involved and he had released some secrets and he had, like, been part of bringing down Kingpin or something like that, or she had, but I felt like nothing in that story made any difference to the show. And so I don't understand why they put so much time into it. That was weird. And then also, the last episode, which was, it was very well done. It was also kind of odd though, like Kingpin just straight up going on a murder spree. I don't know. It was interesting, but it was. Did it seem out of character? I
Not for me.
No.
It kind of was just like he knew he was going down. So,
He just started murdering
I mean,
civilians.
maybe when he opened the door and he was like, surprise or whatever or something, that
Right,
was a little out of character.
right.
But I mean, like losing his temper and killing people is not like,
Yeah. Oh, no, no.
that's not out of character.
Fair enough, but that was like an extended. That wasn't just him having a tantrum. That was like Sam Raimi came in to direct that episode. You
Well,
know what I
fair
mean?
enough, but they were also coming to hurt him too.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
he
Fair
might have
enough.
felt justified. It's not, we've seen the guy, put a dude's head um in a car door and smash it and then crush it in his own hands. And those guys weren't fighting back.
Right.
So imagine somebody's coming to hurt him.
Right. Bunch of pasty activists.
Yeah, a bunch of
He's just like
145-pound guys coming, to beat them with their bong
right. They're
bongs. I
with
don't
their
know where I was going
bongs.
with that, but you know what I mean.
They're gonna throw
And
their
he's
hacky
gonna,
sacks at him.
yeah. I wonder if that
And
would
he's
work
like,
if you took a hacky
"Die,
sack
beta!"
and like shoved nails into it
Yeah, there you
from
go.
one side to the other and then like chucked it.
So I don't know. It just seemed like strangely out of character, I thought, because he's usually so tactical in his thinking, and sometimes he loses his temper. Yeah, yeah, yeah. But that was like an extended temper tantrum. But maybe it's because I didn't see the death of his wife coming. I don't know if that's in the comics or not.
Mm.
That was legit surprising to me, and actually more heartbreaking than I thought it would be. Right? But yeah.
Did you guys catch the Easter egg
So I
in
did
that
not.
scene?
You told me about the Easter egg, and I did not catch it. So
Okay.
you go next. Tell us what you thought, and then
Okay.
give us the Easter egg.
Oh, I'll give you the Easter egg first.
Okay.
So in the episode where Bullseye goes to kill his wife, obviously he gets into a fight with Daredevil, and Daredevil throws him through the window, right? And they both go falling through the window. At that point, the window and the lights in the background make the Watcher's face, because the Watcher is watching
Okay.
the death of Kingpin's wife, because that is a focal point in like the MCU.
Okay.
And so the showrunner was asked, because people were like, "Is this like, that looks like the Watcher?"
Mm.
And the showrunner's like, "Yes, that's what that was." Yeah.
Okay.
So if you go back and you see him thrown through the window, they're both outside, and the focal point of the frame is the window, and it's like the head of the Watcher, and the lights in the background look like the eyes of the Watcher.
Interesting.
So as soon as Brody and I knew that, we were like, "Oh, she's dead. So she's gonna die then." You know, it's a, because I do think there was a comic run where she was in a coma, right? And I'm like, "Oh, okay, they're not going coma route with this. They're going dead route." So
Man, that was
Yeah.
rough. That was rough.
And you know, we've talked before about how sometimes we watch shows and we go, "What are you doing?" But
Right.
the thing is like, us as the viewer have so much more information than the people in the show. Because when that doctor came in to like tell him how sad he was and how sorry he was, like, were you all going like,
Yeah.
"Bro."
Dude, if that's me, I'm poking my head and I'm going, "Yeah, she died later."
Yeah, dude, like,
Right.
go
That's it.
visit. Go visit your mother-in-law in California, bro.
Right.
For a while,
Yeah.
dude. But then of course he doesn't know that the
Sure.
mayor's like a murderess. Like, you know what I'm saying? And he's like, give me a hug. And it's just like, but again, as the viewer, we know that guy
Right.
is in grave danger. Grave danger. And he's just like, "Oh, I'm really sorry. I wish there was more I could have done." And like, bro. So
Yeah.
Alex is sharing the
Yeah,
file
it's an image
as he
of
found the
Jubal.
Easter egg.
Oh, he found it. Look at that.
Jubal, clue 2.
Oh, okay. So let's see. Your guesses, by the way, are all incorrect.
Well, that's just lame.
Your opinion, man.
Oh,
Yeah,
look
do you
at
guys-
that. Okay.
Do you guys see the Watcher?
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah.
Ah, all right. I got it. That's cool.
So, yeah, give clue 2 and I'll finish what I was gonna.
Okay. All right. I can do that. Clue number 2. You stay down by day, but at night you can move around.
Okay.
You stay
Okay.
down by day, but at night you can move around.
That's a good clue, because usually in movies it's the opposite, right? Like by day you can move around, but at night, just
Right.
you better be in your bunker or something,
Right.
No, but I mean, I enjoyed it. Yeah, there was a couple of things in the finale that, and a lot of people mentioned this online too. I don't need to see Karen beat up a VATF agent. I don't need to see
Right.
her. That's not her role.
Right.
That's what
I don't need to
if
see Karen
anything-
Page
if anything-
kicking asses.
Yeah, I just don't need it. That's what Daredevil does. If anything, that should have been the new White Tiger. She had a
Right.
medallion on her. You saw her like doing some stuff. If she would have went up to that VTF agent, VATF, I forget what they're called, and she kicked the crap out of him, I would have been like, nice.
Right.
At the end of the
But it was
episode,
like
we should have done that?
Karen to go over, and because in real life she would have spun him around and hit him, and he would have ate it,
Right.
and then she would have got a gun butt to the face.
Right.
So it's like I don't need that. That's not what she does. She's
Right.
she's the investigative journalist. She's the one that gets the evidence
Right.
to bring
She's
down
the-
the guy.
Exactly. She's the
and-
investigator. Right.
Right. So I need, you had Daredevil, you had White Tiger, and you had Jessica Jones. Any one of those 3 could have beat the crap out of that guy, and I would have been like, nice, but you made Paige do it. And it's like, stop, dude, just stop doing it. It's like, it just takes you out of the immersion of a comic book movie or a comic book show. And that's what blows me away sometimes. I'm like, this is a reality where there's aliens and you're doing that. And that is like screwing with people, or, Well, whatever. It
That's
was still
funny.
good. It was still a good show. What I think is funny is after the first couple episodes, I think I ended up watching like several more than you guys initially when we went over the first like episode. And and I remember Jubal saying, "Oh man, I could really use a courtroom drama." And I was like,
Right.
"Bro,
Hmm.
not gonna happen." And then, sure
It did.
enough, the last
Yeah.
like two episodes actually turned into a
Right.
courtroom drama. I remember watching it going, "Well, Jubal got his wish." I mean, I did not see this coming. I did not
That's cool,
see.
man. Like I love that. I love that. Legal
So,
dramas, like good legal dramas are hard to find. So even just a
yeah.
little bit, just a little legal chop is all I need
Yeah,
to
I was like,
scratch
that
that
came out of
itch.
nowhere for me.
Yeah.
Like, but
Yeah. That was
overall, it
cool.
was good. Seeing the Luke Cage little
Right.
spot, seeing what's his nuts, Bullseye is going to be a. I mean, he was like a Dark Avenger. He was
Right.
Hawkeye in the Dark Avengers, which makes
Right.
sense because he's Bullseye, Hawkeye.
Sure. Sure.
He takes that role. So, yeah, they're setting up probably like that Prefontaine, she wanted like her own Avengers team
Right.
in Thunderbolts, but then they kind of turned the tide on her and she doesn't have them under her thumb. So she needs to get somebody, other people under her thumb. So
Right. It'll be interesting to see what actually comes of that, if anything.
yeah, if
Uh,
anything, right.
so Alex, you and I haven't talked at all about
Hmm.
Daredevil season 2, so I am anxious to hear what you have to say about it.
I mean, overall, yeah, I'd give it a thumbs up. Like I have some issues with it, but they seem to kind of get sort of back on track with it. I thought on the Netflix when it was on Netflix by the third season, it just seemed kind of lost a little bit of direction or where it wanted to
Yeah,
go
it
and
did.
everything. And despite the flaws, they did more things right than things that are wrong.
Right.
It's like it was
Yeah.
like even though it's a comic book show, I admit this is just me. I have a little bit of a problem with like Wilson Fisk and Bullseye not being mutants. They're just people. They can
Right.
like punch a
Right.
brick wall down and like kill somebody with a fingernail.
Right.
I'm just like, whatever. But
Yeah.
that for me is a little bit immersion breaking. But like it's a comic book, so I can kind of roll with it. I wish they would just make them mutants in the show or something.
Or
I guess they don't
something.
have mutants
Right.
in MCU
I
yet.
thought
But
Wilson Fisk was along the same lines as Juggernaut and was actually not a mutant and just had exponential muscle growth.
Yeah, I think that's the thing is in the comic books, they say that he's 450 pounds of solid muscle,
Mhm.
even though he looks fat.
just
So,
like a sumo wrestler.
which again is not like really a real thing. I mean, you
It's
could
not
look
it's
at
not it's not
someone.
normal, but they made it a very big
Yeah,
point to say Juggernaut is not a mutant. They've said that for decades.
yeah, but he has like
He has the
the
helmet.
gem of Sidorak and stuff like that
That's
gives him
right.
his powers.
Right.
He has the Sidorak gem, so that's what he gets his powers from. Wilson Fisk is literally just a human being that is, imagine, I don't know if you guys know a lot of the strongmen of today. There's like Eddie Hall,
Yeah, I know
or
Eddie
the
Hall,
Mountain,
the
Sure.
Mountain.
right?
Sure.
These guys are 6 foot. Both of them are like 6'8". I think the Mountain at one point was 410 pounds. Eddie Hall was around 400 pounds. And these guys are 6'8", 400 pounds. They're massive human beings. My guess is that they're saying that, he's like that, but like
Right.
even bigger and stronger.
Right.
At a
Right.
comic book level.
At
Right.
comic book level, right?
Like you could have
Right.
you could have had some super soldier serum drip on him at
Right,
some
or
point.
something. Especially when you look at that Hawkeye show, where he was pulling like the doors off of a car and stuff. It
Right.
really did seem like he got like an injection of something. He
Something,
would like it was a little much. It was a little
Captain
much.
America bled on him one time when he was running past
Right.
or
Yeah,
something.
So,
Like
yeah.
anything.
and but the thing is then when you do that and you have him like punch brick walls,
Exactly.
and then he loses to a guy who's 6 foot, 185 pounds in Daredevil. Which, by the way, that dude got yoked out of his mind for that role. You saw that scene where he was with Karen.
Sure.
Dude, he got ripped up. So good on him. but it makes it even less believable, right? When you're like punching through walls, and then this guy who looks like a UFC middleweight is beating the crap out of you. You know?
The other thing that was nice to see was, nice to see Jessica Jones in it. I was kind of, I would have been shocked if she weren't like right there on the title screen of the show when I was going to press play. You know, it's like, oh, there's Jessica Jones on the Disney menu. It's like, oh, yeah, I guess she's going to show up.
Yeah, that's the bummer part about not watching it week to week. Like you wait until the end, and they just, dude, I didn't believe him when he said it. He's all, bro, it's on the title screen, and then he sent me a photo. I was like, they just
wrecked it. That's
they
too
just
bad.
said, hey, if you're not watching week to week, fuck
Hey,
you.
dude, we watched it the next day, and she was on it.
Yeah,
that's brutal.
Yeah.
And so it's interesting, kind of the development where now she just kind of randomly loses her powers. So I guess that's sort of like her version of like running out of spider webbing. You know? So it's just like whenever it's necessary to just be like, oh, I'm useless now.
Oh no, drama.
Right.
But I hope we see them again. And it's like Luke Cage coming in. I was kind of surprised, like the optics of Luke Cage being the guy who abandoned his daughter seemed kind of a bad choice. But
I didn't take it that way.
Yeah, I don't think he abandoned her.
No, I think what happened was Matthew Lillard's character went to her and said, I want you to be my person that's going to go to Kosovo or insert
my
terrible place here. And
Boca Raton, Florida.
Right.
Or what's that place that in Mexico that's just always the worst place? Juarez. Yeah. Right? It's just always the worst place ever. And I think what happened was because she had the baby and she was going in and out of her powers, Luke Cage stepped in and said, no, I'll go. I'm going to go.
That's what I got out of it.
So she doesn't have to, because
you stay and take care of our daughter. Yeah.
They probably had some dirt on her. They probably had something where they were going to continue to twist her arm to make her go. And Luke Cage said, screw it. I'm going to go. You stay, take care of our girl. And, like, I'm not going to lose my powers, and I'm bulletproof. I'm, made for this shit,
Yeah, so maybe they'll fill in the blanks then a little bit later. Yeah, it's like, I love Matthew Lillard, man. I don't care what anybody says.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, I'm always happy to see that guy. And it's like, they didn't really have a conclusion with him so much. So I'm hoping he sticks around for a little while.
Yeah, I think we'll see him again. My
understanding is the ratings for this season kind of dropped off pretty heavily. So I'm not really sure if they're going to come back and do another one or how it's going to work. But if it continues, I certainly want to see more Lillard. So
yeah.
Well, what I'll say is they are already currently filming the next season.
Okay, well that's good.
So it is filming. There. If you can look and find set photos of D'Onofrio as Kingpin and stuff like that. So it is very much in develop. It's filming right now.
And we also know that Lillard had Bullseye on the plane with him.
Right.
So, like that's
so there's obviously a development there. Let me get a clue out, and then we'll go to Bueller and get what he had to say. Clue number 3. Do you guys need to hear the first two again?
Wouldn't hurt.
2:14 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time, August 29th, 1997. That's clue number 1.
14/26, 1992.
Clue number 2. You stay down by day, but at night you can move around. Stay down by day, but at night you can move around. Clue number 3. Phased plasma rifle in the 40-watt range.
Alex probably just got it.
Phased plasma rifle in the 40-watt range.
I'm sure Alex just got it.
Alex got it. Bueller is messing with me. He guessed Battlefield Earth because I liked Battlefield Earth.
We all like bad things, dude. I like bad things too. It's fine.
Whatever. I liked it. All right. Bueller, fill us in on your take.
There's not a lot that I can say that hasn't already been said. I don't think Kingpin losing his shit was really necessarily a bad thing. I think it was actually a good thing because it was like him shedding his skin because he is like a wolf in sheep's clothing. I mean, this
Mm.
whole time, even in the Netflix series, he's trying to put on this facade of being like this benevolent leader, but he's not. He's a murderous,
Villain.
treacherous
Right.
asshole.
Right.
Even when he's composed and in public, he still has prisoners behind closed doors that he's torturing. We've seen
Sure.
that in previous episodes. He's just not a good person. He's not supposed to be a good person. So to see him just let go and let loose was like, all right, fucking mask off. This is who we are dealing with here. And
Mm.
how does he come back from that? I have no idea. How does this tie into previous things like Echo? It's kind of a big jump in his personality, but it's what we've been waiting for from Kingpin.
Sure.
He's supposed to be
All
like
right.
this. Uh,
All right.
I think so. I think so. Um, he's also supposed to be like composed in business settings and things like that. But this happening in the engagement that it happened in is okay. It's okay for us as the viewer to see this because it happened in a riot. It happened in a building where everything can be controlled. And we as the viewer got to see him let loose and just fucking murder people. The
Mm.
public in this comic book setting didn't see all of that, right?
Mhm.
So he can still come back and compose himself, put the suit back on, and just say he did what he had to do to defend himself and leave it at that.
Yeah, he
But
could say, I got attacked, a la the end where I got attacked again.
yeah,
When he was like
Mhm.
standing on the thing and they came up the steps, he could have been like, that's how it was in the hallway. And I had to defend myself and
yeah,
I killed those
exactly.
guys.
Exactly. And I think that's okay for his image in the universe that he's in. But us as the viewer getting let in on what kind of carnage and damage he can do was great. And I loved seeing that. I also think the whole Daredevil Born Again thing, and maybe I'm way off base here, was more Born Again for Bullseye
Mm.
this season
Mm.
was more of him having a redemption arc and becoming an anti-hero or like a vigilante as opposed to a villain.
Right.
Working for Matthew Lillard, maybe that's how he sees his path at redemption, because he's very confused and doesn't really know how he wants to move forward, but he knows he doesn't want to work for Kingpin anymore.
Right.
So I kind of like what they did with Bullseye there. Everything else was kind of it was good. Like I enjoyed it.
Mm.
I liked Karen Page. I liked Daredevil in this. Like it was cool.
I agree about Bullseye. I think that they actually developed his character a lot more than they developed any of the other characters, and I
Yeah,
liked it. I liked the way it was
yeah.
developed, like the whole episode where he's like New York State of Mind, right?
Hmm.
He's like dude. He walks into the diner, and you're like shows the silverware. Like you're like, oh, somebody's gonna get killed by silverware. Somebody's gonna get killed by that napkin holder. It's like
Right.
it was a great scene. So I really liked. I agree with you. I liked a lot what they did with Bullseye, and I'm interested to see what happens next with that dude.
Yeah, that's really all I got for that, man. You guys covered everything else.
All right, fair
Did
enough.
anybody find it weird? Like, I don't know. Again, I don't know if this is immersion deflating, but do you ever get do you think it's weird when they're just like, oh, we both love this city? And I'm just like, the city?
I don't know. I think a
Like,
lot
I
of
don't know.
people
Like,
like New York has a has that effect on people. Like Los Angeles and Chicago have that effect on people. Like people
yeah,
really
yeah,
love
and that's
their
why I'm
city.
asking because, like, I understand. Like, I love this country because of the
Sure.
Constitution and
Right.
freedom of speech and expression,
Right.
all the equal protection of the law. I love that, but I'm like a city,
But
like,
but you're not like out there
yeah,
like I'll kick your ass for ripping. I
yeah,
love
exactly,
ripping.
right? Like, like, oh man,
Ooh,
get your
Modesto. I will whoop
Bakersfield
ass for
will,
Modesto.
Bakersfield will rise again. It's like,
Right.
what? What?
I'm gonna be the Salida vigilante here.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
like I don't really get that too
Yeah.
much. You know what I mean?
Those big cities, I mean, there's so much culture and there's so much history
And
there.
but like even the draw off that when you have Spider-Man and Captain America talking about, Queens and the Bronx and Brooklyn,
Sure.
the boroughs, it's a very, very different culture in
Right.
that area.
And that's
Uh,
why, it's like I understand like the Spider-Man and the like thing a little bit more because it's literally his neighborhood, you know? And maybe I'm just too fine a line or something, and it's my problem, right? I'm sure it is. But it's just like I understand defending your neighborhood because you're like, my aunt lives
Sure.
here. It's like I don't
yeah,
want nothing to happen to my aunt. But they're like, I'm here to save the city. And it's like, from what?
Right.
Like you? Like from you? Maybe like like I don't know.
I guess
But
my whole thing with Spider-Man too, though, is that like I've been in New York and I've walked around New York and I've walked from like I haven't gone across the Brooklyn Bridge, but I've been in like downtown Manhattan and I've walked around and I ended up in Hell's Kitchen and I ended up in Harlem and I've ended up in like all these neighborhoods and I'm like Spider-Man couldn't just do all this because this is not.
it's not that far.
I
Right.
walked for 18
Yeah.
minutes, bro.
They're
And
not
he's
far
swinging
apart.
that shit.
They're
Like,
they're pretty
And
close
you're
together.
swinging, dog.
yeah,
And you're swinging like
swinging.
70 miles an hour.
Yeah,
You know?
man. And I walked this in 18 minutes. I didn't
Right.
even know I left a borough and I'm in
Yeah.
a different borough. But
You're guarding like 6 blocks. Like that's all you got.
That's all you.
Yeah, I get you there. All right, let me give a fourth clue. So Alex has got it.
Okay.
Here's the last clue. You guys ready? Last
Yeah.
clue. Last clue is fuck you, asshole.
you got me stumped, dude. You got me stumped.
Oh.
Fuck you, asshole.
Yeah, it's the okay. Because you did the voice.
Was it Short Circuit?
Short Circuit was a great movie.
Yeah. I don't know what it is.
Fuck you, asshole.
Nope.
No?
About
Did he say
nothing
that to
clean,
Paxton?
right?
Did he say that to Paxton?
Eric's got it. Let's see.
Yeah.
Did he say that to Paxton?
Yeah.
No, he said that when the guy knocked on his door and he had the list. It's all do 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 beep 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 beep. Fuck you,
Oh,
asshole.
I thought it was at the
Paxton.
beginning.
But
What's that?
I was quoted him as nothing clean, right?
Oh, see, I thought it was the part where he walks up to them at the observatory,
Okay.
and they're just like,
Okay, here's the last
I
clue,
have fucking
Joe.
no idea what this is.
Okay, here's the last clue. You ready, Joe?
Sure.
You're terminated, fucker.
It can't be the Terminator.
Yes, it's the
Yeah.
Terminator.
Oh, you should just,
So-
I'll be back.
It's the original Terminator.
The original Terminator, yeah.
Well,
So yeah, so I thought it was when he walks up to the three, youths, and they're like making fun of him and they're like saying stuff to him. I thought like one of them said "fuck you," and he's like "fuck you," and then stuck his hand through the guy.
No, he just was like, your clothes, give them to me.
That's right. Okay, that's right.
They're like, ha 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 ha. Or was that in the second one? Wait, in the
I thought
first
your
one.
clothes give them to me was in the second one.
That was in the second one.
Yeah.
What did he
Oh.
say in the first one when he walked up to the guys? He said,
I think he said something about your clothes, but
He
then
said
again,
something
I thought he
about
said "fuck you" too. So
your
what do I know?
clothes, or something like that. And they're like, all.
I honestly don't recall the first one very much at all.
He just,
Obviously.
he just said your clothes, give them to me now.
Right.
Mm.
So,
Fuck you, asshole. Yeah.
2:14 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time, August 29th, 1997, is when Skynet became self-aware. Right?
April
I thought-
26th, 1992, there was a riot on the street. Tell me, where were you?
In
Okay.
class.
Yeah, I was.
I was like seventh grade.
Anyway, all right. So then maybe that was too old. I need to do more recent movies.
No, you don't
So,
have to. No, it's
Look,
fun. Like
there's
that.
nothing wrong with Terminator.
Yeah.
You know,
Terminator's a great
Yeah,
movie.
nothing wrong
Yeah.
with
Just
that.
because I fucked it up doesn't mean you
So
were
let's
wrong.
Yeah.
go through real quick. Let's go around the table on Punisher Last Kill. Right.
so
Hold
can I go
on.
first?
Go ahead, Eric. Go first.
Okay, so my thing is I feel like this was a show for anybody who didn't watch the 2.5 seasons that he was on Netflix. This was like everything you need to know about the Punisher in 52 minutes. Here you
Right.
go. You know, his family's dead. He's really bummed out about it. He killed the people who killed them, and now he means business. 82 people dead. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like it was like that's what it was. In fact, they even retconned for like the third time who killed his family for this.
Right.
You know, first it was like, oh, the people in his unit, and then it was
Right.
like, no, it was a botched FBI operation to get the people in his unit or whatever, and now it was just some crime family, and he killed them. It's like, okay, cool. But the frustrating thing for me, and I think I mentioned this to Bueller, is like because I watched 2 seasons of Punisher and I saw him on season 2 of Daredevil, so it's basically like 3 seasons. I am done with crying Frank. I
Yeah.
am over
Yeah. Crying
crying
Frank.
Punisher.
No more crying Frank. Yeah.
Canonically, bro, it's been a
Right.
decade, and
Right.
you can't even function.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Either get help or stick a, end it, bro.
Yeah.
You know,
Chew on
like
that gun
you chew on the
because
gun, bro.
you know.
Like it's been a decade, and
Right.
you still like are like falling into a heap like daily.
So
Over,
Right.
my thing is,
So,
I thought go ahead, Alex, go ahead.
yeah, it's just sort of like the whole thing where he apparently still has PTSD. He's sitting in his
Right.
apartment,
right,
all alone, just going,
right.
and it's like the thing. My thing is like the Punisher is supposed to give people PTSD,
Right, right.
not have PTSD. But go ahead. Yeah.
No, I mean that's my thing is like my understanding of the Punisher is that he basically channeled all of that emotion, all of the loss that he felt into punishing bad guys. Like and he's just business. Like he's just
Right.
and he's devoid of empathy. Like it's not
And
necessarily
that's the
about
other thing.
making
Like, I
people
don't want to,
suffer. It's just about killing them. It's like you just need to
I,
be dead, right?
and I don't want to seem insensitive. Obviously, if that situation happened to any of us,
Right.
we would be destroyed. But here's the thing: none of us would also be able to say that we killed like 3 dozen people that had something to do with it. Like
Right.
most people who have something horrible like that happen to them, they just have to. They just have to go on with life, like
Right.
they don't, and some people, shit, they don't even get real closure, unfortunately. Like
Right.
maybe somebody doesn't actually go to
Right.
jail or anything.
No,
This man got to punish
right.
the people who did this.
And that's my
he's
thing is
still
that Frank Castle is supposed to be an anomaly in the sense that this horrible thing has happened to him, but he's dead inside, basically. He's
right.
like,
Now he is, yeah.
I'm dead inside, and now I am just a manifestation of retribution, right?
Right.
That's it. And it's like, and so yeah, crying Frank, we got to stop. You can't.
Yeah.
He's not allowed. He's not allowed to yell at the corners of his room anymore.
Yeah.
We got to get past that. But I think that you're right. I think you're exactly right, Eric, that this was a 52-minute episode for people who never saw the series.
Yeah. Now you're caught up. Now you can watch him on Spider-Man.
Exactly.
Now you know who we're talking about. You got his
Right.
backstory. Hit the ground
Yeah.
running. Go
That's
watch
it.
our Spider-Man movie now.
So what did you think, Bueller, of the Last Kill one shot?
Well, jumping on the Spider-Man thing, I think it's kind of like wild that we saw what we saw in One Last Kill, and then we're going to see him in Brand New Day because we're not going to get that Punisher.
We're not even going to get him to. He's not even going to cuss.
Yeah,
Right.
he's not going to come close to what we saw in One Last Kill.
Right.
So that was a weird way to reintroduce people to that character, and then see him in Brand New Day, and he's going to be a
Like
Do you think that's why they did
PG-13
it? Because
version. Yeah.
do you think that's why they did it? Because they knew you were about to get a very toned down version of the Punisher, and they were like, "Well, let's give people what they want," because they're about to see like PG-13 Punisher.
I feel like
people are
Then knock people
I mean,
out.
maybe because the whole thing, like they canceled like the last episode or two of Daredevil to make this Punisher one shot. It was supposed to be a longer series, and
Sure.
they pulled it back. And so maybe it was like, well, we got to give people something to love Punisher for before we, spiderweb his mouth before he says an F word.
Right.
Right.
And I feel like that's what's going to happen is that it's going to be Spider-Man like pulling his gun away before he kills somebody. Like it's not going to be, he's not going to be different, but Spider-Man
Right.
is going to prevent him from killing people. Right.
Right.
That's what we're going to see.
Yeah.
As far as like One Last Kill goes, I understand what you guys are saying. I feel like maybe they brought somebody in on the back end to like psychoanalyze the character and kind of work through it, because we only see what we see in the comics. We don't see what he may be going through behind closed doors and on the back end. And it's entirely possible that, yeah, he is this emotionless killing machine when he's on the streets, and that's when he straightens up and opens that front door and is like, I'm going to go commit mass murder. but he goes through all of these emotions before he does that. And I'm being presumptuous here. This could have been somebody psychoanalyzing the character. PTSD lasts forever, lasts a lifetime. And we have no idea how people are going to react to it. Everybody who has it reacts to it differently. And if he goes through crying fits and yelling at corners and seeing ghosts and things like that before he pulls his boots up and goes out and kills people, and that's what they want to bring to the character, okay. I mean, that's not what we saw growing up, but we also just saw the Punisher taking out anybody who got in his way. I mean, they're trying to bring humanity to the character, and maybe it doesn't really vibe with what we understand of the Punisher that we knew. I understand what they're doing, and I also get what you're saying. Like, okay,
it just doesn't have the emotional power that it did in season 1.
Right.
I
Season 1.
I agree with that.
And I think that maybe that's what it is like I don't want to say what I'm saying, which is that, like, crying Frank, I'm done with it. Because season 1, it was still powerful.
Right.
In Daredevil, it was powerful.
Right. If I can say this real quick,
they've done it so much that even I'm just kind of like, okay, dude. It's
killing Bruce Wayne's parents. It's killing Superman's fucking dad over and over and over and over again. That's what it's feeling like at this point.
Right.
So I can agree with that wholeheartedly. We fucking get it.
Right.
Right. You can't keep going back to the well.
The other thing, I will say that Bueller's could be right in the sense of, if that's what he's doing what we wanted the guy in Man on Fire to do, which is like, you can be all jacked up, but once you get going,
right,
you turn that switch and you get going.
Once
that's
the boots
what we wanted
on.
to see in Man on Fire, right? And so if what Bueller's saying, maybe it's 100% accurate. They're just like, look, when he's behind closed doors, he is
a wreck.
But when he gets his eye on a mission, dude, you can't stop him.
You compartmentalize, right? It's like all business.
And I think they showed that in this episode too, because once he crashed through that door, once his pant legs were on fire, and there's a man on fire for you. Once he was an actual man on fire and decided to go just wreck shop, dude, it was just nonstop action. It was phenomenal, man. And I think we all knew the key on the grave we were gonna come back to that at the end of the episode.
Sure.
We knew he was coming back to his whole gatling of guns, like that was gonna happen.
Like his gatling of guns.
It's funny. I didn't even think about this until right now. But the Thomas Jane Punisher came out like 2 months before Denzel's Man on Fire. And now this Man on Fire came out 2 months before this Punisher. And they almost switched roles. Right. What I mean is, like, Denzel's Man on Fire was what people wanted Thomas Jane's Punisher to be.
Yeah.
Right.
And in this regard, this Punisher is what we were hoping, especially using what Bueller's talking about. We wanted this Man on Fire to be.
Right.
Yeah.
Which is, being able to compartmentalize, the PTSD and all that kind of stuff. It's kind of funny. Like I said, I just thought of that right now because I remember watching Punisher and going, that was pretty good. And then 2 months later watching Man on Fire and going, oh shit, that's what Punisher should have been, dude.
I specifically remember Eric saying that Denzel Washington was in 2 better Punisher movies than Thomas Jane was in. Right. They were very close to each other. And on that note, I do want to say, if you've never seen the short Dirty Laundry on YouTube, you should, without a doubt, watch that. Thomas Jane did that after the first Punisher, kind of along the same lines of Ryan Reynolds releasing his behind the scenes footage of Deadpool before the Deadpool movie was made. I feel like Thomas Jane really wanted to make that Punisher, and I feel like this Punisher that we saw kind of harkened back to Dirty Laundry in a way,
right?
Of just like a man who was like, nope, not my business. Because we saw all that in the beginning of this episode. Not my business. All kinds of bullshit happening. Not my business. Don't care. And then all of a sudden it was his business and he just let loose. So like I actually had to go watch Dirty Laundry after watching that episode because it felt very close to that.
Right. Yeah, agreed. That was a cool short. All right, I think that's all we've got. Anything else anybody wants to say?
Yeah, I was gonna say,
What,
there was
have you talked about Punisher yet, Alex?
No, I was going to
Oh,
give my
okay.
review.
Yeah, give your review, man.
I mean, I think Eric's right that, there's a basically a planner, to get Punisher back up to speed. And somebody said, and also let's, make him John Wick for 45 minutes,
Right.
because this really felt like a John Wick action movie more than a Punisher, because like, as a kid, my favorite runs and I read of like Punisher War Journal were like him, setting up a mission to go and infiltrate a base and, take out
Right.
these people, and so, as opposed to just wanton slaughter through the street with like a pen. And so it's like when I watched the show, I'm disappointed exactly, but the more time has gone on, the more I'm sort of disappointed with it, because I'm just kind of like we're talking about. I think it wound up at the end of the show. He was where we've kind of, at least I wanted him to be for the last like several Punisher seasons, was like I want him to be, the Punisher. And it's just sort of like,
Right.
I get it, it's kind of hard narratively to deal with a character like that. I understand. But it's like in the comics, there were these two runs by these, one of the authors, Garth Ennis, and were really popular. Like Welcome Back Frank was under Marvel. And then before he moved to the Marvel Max line, which is the mature audience, it's like the Marvel Punisher has to get kind of silly and stupid sometimes, because you can't be gory, you can't have him really be, killing people. But when he went to the Max line, Garth Ennis was really able to start doing mature storyline. And it's like, Punisher is best when you make compelling villains that you really want to get punished.
Right.
That's how you make the best narrative stories with the Punisher, is you have to give a villain that you just hate, and you really want to see the Punisher kill this guy. And so it's like if they really want to have success with the Punisher in the future, that's something they really need to do. It's like make the villain kind of the star of the show in a way.
It's interesting that you say that, because in this short, The Last Kill, I was much more interested in seeing the dude who killed the dog get shot in the face.
Fuck yeah.
Than the mafia mom.
Yep.
Right.
I didn't really care about the mafia mom. I was like,
Hey, she's showing you who's the boss.
Wah, wah, wah. Well done, sir. Well done.
So I'm hoping now in the future we get Frank Castle Punisher, and they make a villain that you hate, and you're just chomping at the bit to see him get punished.
I think that is exactly right.
And that's exactly why the first season worked. Remember, the dude who killed killed the FBI agent, and then was killed her partner, and then was baiting her immediately afterwards, you're that's so terrible, what happened to you today? And you're just like, oh, you
piece of shit,
piece of shit.
And then he slides his face across the broken glass, and you're like, that's what you get.
That's what you get for being a piece of shit.
You were a piece of shit.
So just awesome. Concentrate less on showing the emotional trauma of Frank Castle and build up a villain that we despise enough that it doesn't matter how he died, we just need to cheer when he dies.
Right, exactly. I agree with that 100%. All right, that's it. We are done. Thanks for joining us, everybody. We will see you next week.